Greetings to you from wherever you're watching us. Thanks for joining us on the Friday edition of the show. It promises to be exciting. I'm Yemi Adebayo.
Always a delight to have you join us to talk sports in London. I'm Austin Okonakwan. I'm following the match between Nigeria and Ghana. The Ghanaians showing that they mean business, giving us all the push. But hey, it's still goalless, and it's football where anything can happen.
Yeah, about 30 minutes of football played. It's still goalless, and nothing really separates the sides. Not much of chances created, and of course, both of us have our hearts in our mouths, and we have a job to do. That's why we're here, and of course, we will do our best to keep you informed, just in case you don't have any means of knowing what is happening right there in Kumasi. We'll do our best to keep you abreast of what is going on. Of course, both teams, Ghana and Nigeria, renewed their rivalry. It's a tug of war right there. And of course, they're currently slugging it out. Other matches were played today. We'll talk about that. Qualifiers on in other confederations. We'll talk about that as well. But of course, definitely, most of what we'll be talking about on the show will be about the Super Eagles of Nigeria and the Black Stars of Ghana. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. So, Austin, here we are. The big day has come. Over 30 minutes of football played, and we expect the Super Eagles to carry the day.
Yeah, well, that's the expectation from followers of football in Nigeria. By the way, Victor Osimhen is down at the moment. Let's just hope that that's nothing serious after clashing with a Ghanaian player right there. I mean, look, in this sort of game, we've said it that you never say never because it can go anywhere. You know, in a derby game of this magnitude, the players understand the mission. It might just get, really interesting in the end. But shout out to the Super Eagles. They've held their own because the Ghanaians got into the game with full throttle. They were pushing, pressing, kept under pressure. The Super Eagles just trying to contain them. Hopefully what they will try to do is read the game and then get the rhythm and then control it. But we've seen these things, severally. For instance, what happened today between Algeria and Cameroon? Egypt, with the upper hand right there in that game against Senegal, leading by a single goal. We saw DR Congo shake Morocco today, but somehow Morocco found a way to get back into it. I think for the Super Eagles, they should try to hold on, avoid defeat as much as they can. And if you see the approach they've given this one, everyone is involved. The substitutes on the bench, the technical crew. You can see whenever there's a break, the players on the bench are speaking to the guys who are playing. This is serious business.
It is serious business. Of course, an own goal has cost Senegal now. They're trailing Egypt. That's another very crucial encounter currently going on. All right, we're not going to be alone on the show tonight as it is. We have Alfred Okoligwe with us. Let's see if we can bring him in to the discussion. Greetings to you, Alfred. Thanks for finding out time to be with us on the show tonight. I really appreciate you on a day like this. Our hearts and minds in Kumasi, but then again, we have a job to do.
Yeah, like you said, we have a job. As I'm talking to you now, I have the screen stuck somewhere on this side.
I understand.
Flash a few seconds. That shot flashed a few seconds ago. I told her how to make that stage. I was like, what is happening? But it is what it is. We have a job to do, and that's why we're here today. Somehow, it's been a very, very cagey affair in the earlier stages. The Ghanaians are playing with determination. They are determined to hurry, to hustle, to kick as much as possible. Those kind of tactics that sometimes Cameroon wants to employ, kicking from behind and the rest of them. But they've kept it cool and manageable, if you ask me. And I think we can only build from here. Like you said, the most important thing is to avoid tonight and build from there. But they still go. Taking the contested game, humid weather, you see the players working, any break you get, everybody wants to rehydrate and the rest of that. So it's really,
Yeah.
really is high of tension so and exciting game.
All right, exciting game. It is. Of course, like I said, we're not going to be alone. Tofet Tobola is with us as well. Let me try and bring him in into things. Greetings to you, Tofet. Thanks for finding out time to be with us. Not the easy thing to do, especially when the Super Eagles is playing. But once again, thanks for joining us. Let me just throw this straight at you. Are you surprised with the starting lineup?
No, I'm not surprised at starting lineup. This is the kind of starting lineup I was expecting. It's not easy to choose the players at this stage. You know, the game has been very tight and it's been very physical. So the Super Eagles have to just be patient, and the Ghanaian team have really come out physically and they look mentally ready as well.
Okay, all right. Austin, I don't know if I'm
Yeah.
allowed to give my opinion, but it looks like the mission of the Black Stars is to rough up the Nigerian players as much as possible.
Yeah. Put pressure on the Super Eagles, make them crack, work them so that they probably get tired and run out of, their tactical plan. Scary moment, the 32nd minute, Isaku with a shot at goal. He was left all alone to shoot. Francis was all dealt with it, and he wasn't happy with his defenders for not closing it down. So that was a really scary moment, but he stepped up to it, and that's really important. So let me go back to Alfred. Alfred, we talked about it, that everybody needs to be on point in this sort of game. How important is that?
Very, very important, Austin, if you ask me. This is a game that if you blink, they'll make you pay. The Ghanaians have shown that they have the resolve. Whatever they are lacking in terms of the manpower, they make up with the kind of energy they put into this game. They just know that as long as they keep that pressure on, we will maybe to some extent not come out of our shells and just keep the Eagles at bay. Somehow, Osimhen has been isolated. The final balls to him are not getting to him. Somehow, the defenders find a way of dealing with it. I think Yemi asked if we're surprised with the lineup that we employed. I think it's a bit predictable. This is bearing for Bonke. This is almost the same lineup that played our last game at the Nations Cup, and so it's times like this that we will know whether the technical crew have something up his sleeve, whether there's a plan B. Somehow try to get somebody, a trick or something, to unlock this Ghanaian defense. For all, what we've seen so far, they are determined to stay in this game as much as possible. And hope, riding on luck that if anything comes through, they take the opportunity. So everybody just have to maximum concentration. I like that save by Francis Uzoho. I mean, if you make that kind of save in a game, it gives you confidence. It makes the defenders, your defenders, a bit calmer. Getting the assurance that the person at the back is doing the job and is on top of his game. So hopefully in the second half, maybe a tweak here and there with the tactics. Hopefully we'll get something from this game.
Awesome. So it's still Super Eagles of Nigeria 0, the Black Stars of Ghana 0. Tofe, let me get you talking. I see. Semen with a chance right there, but it wasn't strong enough to beat the goalkeeper. Tofe, we talked about this yesterday, the possible lineup, and the name we mentioned was Innocent Bonke. He's in the team. Has he impressed you so far?
To be honest, I'm happy he's in the team, but I'm not going to say he's impressed me. The game is obviously beyond him because it's like there's so many other players on the pitch. He's not really had a chance to show or to, man mark and do what he needs to do. But as a wider thing, this game is a very tactical game. I'd like to say that, the coach, Austin Gravon, he needs to now come out and start, making his tactical changes to Gennett Rowe's team. This team looks a lot similar to Gennett Rowe's team. The players are very similar, almost like 90% of the same players. And if you keep doing the same things, you're going to get the same results. I mean, these players are good and, they're tried and tested. And this same formation, this same system. But, if you really want to put your mark down and really show that you have something to give, something special, something different to what the former coach was doing, you need to come up with new players in new positions and new formations and all. Of course, we know mentally he's gotten the boys up and, the boys are thinking better and, there's a better spirit in the team. and he's been able to affect the team mentally. But we want to see him affect the team tactically. We want to see goals, and we want to see, we want to see something different. We saw that at the Nations Cup, but we want to see that repeatedly as well, because this is just like, almost 45 minutes of, the same Super Eagles. And, going to the World Cup, we really need to have something different, something dynamic, As my colleague said, it's a predictable starting lineup. So we need to start thinking outside the box.
All right. Let me just come in here before we go on the break. Let me stick with Toffe, then I'll go to Alfred. Almost 45 minutes, like you said. I mean, the definition of lunacy is to do the same thing and expect a different result. So if this doesn't work, what are the other things with the players we have? What are the other things you think Coach Eguavoen could do to ensure we win this game, knowing that the Ghanaians will keep it tight?
Well, normally, on the bench, we have Sadiq Kumar. We have, some other strikers that are, tall and that we could go to one, the cross or not. To be honest with you, I'm not actually trying to be critical of the Super Eagles, because this is a very tight game. You don't want to come out and, concede some goals. If we take the draw, we'll absolutely take the draw and come back to Nigeria, and do the job. But I'm thinking on the long run, we can't keep playing the same team, same formation. We have to, unless he's trying to better the same players in the same style. So these are things that we have to try to focus on.
Okay, let me go to Alfred quickly. What are the things coming to your mind? You're looking at this game, you're probably shaking your head and what are the things you think Cerezo probably should do? We're not the manager of the team, but we're all fans and we're emotionally invested in football. So what are the different things you want to see?
Well, I mean, at the last Nations Cup, our game was based on weak play. Moses, Chukwueze. For the life of it, this game now, I think we've maybe kind of criticisms that came their way at the Nations Cup. That has not been used there, obviously. If they are going to play on the inside, I think a player like Moses Simon, we know what he can do. He should be a bit more adventurous. And if it's operating on that level, I mean, these are guys that we know that have individual talents that can, on a good day, play this team. And of course, on the bench, we have players. If it is pairing up, especially now that the midfield seem a bit more assured, at least in the last 5-10 minutes, the midfield seems to be a bit more assured. And if we can look at the option of 2 strikers for now, that will be later in the game, not now. When we know that, okay, it's time to close this game, it's time to really push hard. Perhaps towards the second half, we'll begin to see those changes. But for now, the most important thing is to avoid making mistakes at the back, avoid conceding. I think so far they've done a fantastic job.
I totally agree with you. They've been able to hold this ferocious Ghanaian attack. Joe Aribo with a chance, if he was a bit calmer, and calculated, he probably would have finished that properly. So it's still Ghana 0, Nigeria 0. Toffe, what can make a difference for the Super Eagles with what you've seen so far?
To be honest with you, I've already started looking at the bench. We have a lot of experience on the bench right now. We have a Tebo, we have Igalo, we have Ahmed Musa. We have Kenneth Omero. These are established players. Ahmed Musa are more established than the others. But these are players that have played at a high level. And for the Super Eagles, they have a lot of caps as well. I think it's not easy to pick a national team, any national team, because there's a lot of players in each country. But the coach has to think and try to look at areas where he can try to improve. Simon Moses was really a big revelation in the last Nations Cup. We knew his abilities before the Nations Cup anyway. But eventually, he really shone. But later on in the tournament, teams realized that we're working towards him mostly, and they were able to double team him. I saw in the beginning of the match also the Ghanaians, had 2 players on him when he was trying to, make a dribble. Of course, he didn't make that well. So, there's a chance in the game. So I think we've come into the game by the 42nd minute now. For 3rd minute, we're gradually coming in. We started really slowly as well. We just need to take our chance when it comes, because that's what's the most important. We need to take our chances. We're definitely going to have 1 or 2 chances in the game, and we definitely need to take them.
Alfred, let's just make it a conversation for the Super Eagles. Let's talk about the Black Stars. and the way they've approached the game so far. You think they can sustain this tempo?
Well, I think they're beginning to go light at the back a bit. The tempo that they started with the first 15 minutes is not at the level. I mean, just before game now shifted to.
Yeah, we're losing Alfred right there.
Ghanaian have, yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead, Alfred.
Okay, the action has been in the Ghanaian half. I think it will be difficult for them to sustain this tempo. Like I said, they know that in terms of quality, man for man, they are a bit short. And so they've resorted to try as much as well to pressure the Nigerians. Like I said, what we need to do, especially in this first half and in the early part of the second half, is to hold our lines, not to concede. I mean, pressure will come. Definitely, pressure will come. And the moment in the second half they begin to get too ahead of themselves in terms of being adventurous, that's when we can really go at it. They will be a bit more vulnerable. They know that they know what the Eagles can do. They know what the players can do, and that's why, like Tove said, there, Moses Simon getting all the attention, Chukwueze getting all the attention. Osimhen at some point was really isolated at the top. So for me, it's a question of trying to hold the lines. It's a question of just being very, very vigilant and pragmatic. Take what you can in this game. I'm sure that if they continue at this tempo in the second half, chances to come. They will drop like that a bit.
Another scary moment for the Ghanaians, but William Trustekong dealt with that so well. So corner kick to Ghana now. Yemi, it's looking like the Ghanaians just want to keep this fierce approach going. And as Alfred said, they dropped it at some point, and now they're picking it back up. I see a lot of tactical play going on right there.
Yeah, sure. No surprises. We've always talked about this. Form wouldn't count for much. It's Ghana would rather lose to any other team than lose to the Super Eagles of Nigeria. And it doesn't matter which Ghanaian player is on the field. They understand what it is. When the game started, I was joking with some of our colleagues here in the Lagos studio of how Ghanaians always say that we are friends. But when he got to this game, we're not friends. We're not friends anymore. And it's obvious. They're trying to rough up the Super Eagles. I do hope that our players will have the toughness. At some point, I saw Partey kicking Joe Aribo, kicked him like twice in the same breath. And, that's what you're going to get in this game. And we have to be ready for that.
Yeah. They need to be ready. So that's it. 2 minutes of added time for the first half to be over. The Super Eagles so far, they've tried. They've been holding their own. Let's see if they can keep it going. Remember, you can be part of the show. I mean, this is the sort of show. It's difficult to do because you see Toffe looking this way, Alfred looking this way. I was trying to see what's going on, but the show must go on.
A lot of voices in my ear as well. I can hear screams, I can hear shouts, and even in the studio, the guys trying to keep me informed as well. So, but we love it. We love it. It's the Super Eagles of Nigeria, and I mean, I'd rather be here than be somewhere else. It's all fun, but I'm hoping we're going to get that big scream. I'm hoping we're going to hear that big scream, which will signal only one thing: a goal for the Super Eagles. I'm hoping I'm going to hear that very soon. But I'm seeing a lot of hand movement, a lot of head movement, and everybody's excited. But hopefully we'll get a goal for the Super Eagles, and all things will go the way we plan. We need to pause right about now. We need to catch our breath. Like I said, many voices in my head. But let's catch our breath. Let's go on a break. And when we return, we'll still be on the matter, the big game between the Super Eagles of Nigeria and the Black Stars of Ghana. All right, you know that you have 200 million coaches watching this game right about now, and all of them are already talking about possibilities, creating scenarios, and some names already popping up in my head. And I mean, sharing things with some of the colleagues are already mentioning names. But you see, that is why Cerezo is the man at the helm. That's why he's getting paid to do the job. And so I hope that he gets it right for the sake of the Super Eagles. And halftime at this moment. So I guess the question is, what can we do differently? What can be done differently? As far as I'm concerned, I think the approach of the Ghanaians will not change. So the question is, do we want to win this game? I feel it's possible. 3 matches played today, 2 away wins, 1 draw. So playing away doesn't mean much. We can win if we want to. But then again, there has to be that balance. You don't want to be reckless. I'm already hearing some of our colleagues reading some of their comments and hearing what some of them are saying in my ear. It's better not to lose than to go all out and concede a goal.
I know, Yemi. When you take a look at the ball possession, I think Ghana had 63%. That's a lot. They bossed the game, you know. And I like the question you asked, that what can be done differently. Because now go back and look at the game and read it. Let me get Tofe talking. Tofe, you know, we talk a lot about match reading. You've got Ademola Lookman on the bench. You've got Emmanuel Dennis on the bench. This sort of game, what can be done to bring in that sort of substitute that probably will just turn everything around?
Yeah, to be honest, Austin, these things have to be pre-planned. You know, the coaches have to always have their plan. They have to have the plan for every scenario. You know, we're going into the game 0-0 at halftime. You know, if it was 1-0 against us, then it's a different situation. So it's not something that now you're just going to be thinking about. These are things that they have to plan, and they have to be spoken to the players as well. Like, hey, listen, our plans bring you on. You know, things are not going too good. I think it's too early to change it at 45 minutes. I think it's a balanced game. I think, obviously, we need to come away with a draw minimum. So I think you should wait for another 15 minutes and try and see. Lukman making his debut in this type of important match, I think it's too much. I think we have Ahmed Musa. He's a big experienced player. We have Igalo, and we have Etebo as well on the bench. Dennis is a raw player and he's on a big form as well. So I think the coach has his conundrum to select. And I think if I was in his shoes, I would go more with a combination of Igalo and Musa. If not, then why bring them if you're not going to play the experienced head end?
I know. Alfred, Ghana obviously bossed the first half, you know, had more ball possession, did all the pressure. How can the Super Eagles get this game back, particularly control it?
I think they would have the first half cheaters would have passed now. I mean, it's better you go on a break knowing that you're still in the game than going to start discussing on how to come back. So far, I don't think they did badly. Now they know what is expected. They've tasted it, and this is where coaching comes in. This is where the technical crew from the outside would have seen one or two, the change in the armor, how to set up the team to really make the best use of the scenario that has presented itself, the way Ghana played the first half. That is where coaching comes in, and I think the Eagles bench have enough in terms of knowledge, in terms of have Coach Amnike there, Coach Austin Celeste, we have one leading technical crew. They have enough in terms of technical manpower to be able to know how to. If Aribo thinks this is a tea party, he will make it a kicked severally. Moses Simon has had been at the receiving end of some very serious tackles and just of them. Chukwueze, we saw him holding his ankle at some point in that game. So these are now the Ghanaians have shown their hands. They show what they can do and how they want to approach this game. Now this is where coaching comes in. I think they just have to change the formation, change the way they approach this game, especially in the second half. They have to really tweak something. Don't give them that certainty of, okay, this is how the Eagles is going to play from the first minute to the last minute. It happened to us at the Nations Cup and we lost out. I expect to see changes. I expect to see a change in formation. That will get us talking, that will get us thinking, hey, how did they manage to maximize all of this? These are the kind of things I will live for. And I just hope and pray that the Eagles come up with something in the second half.
All right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So we've seen some interesting results, no doubt. already. Let's just run through some of the results already concluded. Yemi, Algeria had to pick themselves back off. That's how to respond when your fans are disappointed with your performance at the AFCON. Going to Cameroon to win shows that they mean business for the World Cup. So there you have it. Congo DR, they scored first. They were hopeful. Morocco came back to snatch that one. It ended 1-1. I told you, Algeria. It was Slimani that scored that goal. They won right there in Cameroon by a single goal. Tunisia also beating Mali away from home. So, looking at these results, you can tell again that look at teams going away and picking the vital point.
Especially the teams that didn't do well at the AFCON. Tunisia, by their standards, we feel they should have done more. Algeria as well, defending champions, crashing out in the first round. Morocco as well. And so for all the North African teams, good results, you might say, for the three of them. And they're looking good. Morocco, Algeria, and Tunisia. Carthage Eagles, winning their game. The Eagles of Mali need to go away, and it's very difficult. So we'll see what happens to that one. Cameroon, I've always had my issues with that Cameroonian team. I felt the goals from Vincent Abubakar covered a lot of lapses in that team, and and I'm not speaking just because of what happened today. It's clear and it's evident that that team not yet up to scratch. But before the second half resumes, let me get the opinion of the guys. Let me start with Tofe. Any of these three results you have on the screen, any of them comes to you as a surprise?
Absolutely. The Mali team, they've been looking good of late, and for them to lose at home is a bit shocking. I think except from that, everything looks like, I expected. The Algerian team, they're dynamic, and, I expect them to do well against Cameroon over two legs. And the Moroccan team as well, there's no easy games. They've come to Africa, the western part of Africa, and of course they've picked up central part of Africa, and they picked up a draw. So I think it's almost like what I expected, but it's a bit more shocking for the Mali to lose at home. But I think in these ties, there's no home and away fixtures. It just depends on who wants it more, because this is the World Cup. This is the highest level, and you have to be prepared in all ways.
Yeah, Alfred, let's get your take. Any surprises for you? Cameroon, for instance, my opinion was that team had issues, but still, a lot of people probably wouldn't expect them to lose at home.
If you look at the result, you say the FIFA ranking is absolutely spot on, because the teams that are ranked higher are the teams that are playing away. And if you look at the result, all of the teams that are ranked 1 to 5, 3 of them have delivered so far. I think that puts pressure on Nigeria, because Nigeria is one of the teams ranked one of the top 5 teams of the continent. For Morocco, they went down, they kept their head, came back in that game. For Algeria, what a way to respond. When you go into a tournament, and something happens, like it happened for the Algeria, it didn't just click. Somehow, it didn't come to the party. This is the best way to respond. It just tells you that their ranking in FIFA ranking, it's not by fluke, by any stretch of the imagination. And for the Tunisians coming to West Africa and doing the business, that tells you where African football is at the moment. The North Africans are shading it. I wouldn't say I'll be excited if the North African teams make it to the World Cup. But this is just the first leg. There are 2 legs to play in all of this. Sometimes these things just might not just turn out the way you expect them to. But for now, these 3 teams have the advantage.
All right. Let me keep you before I pass the baton back to Austin. Let's spare a thought for the other game that's going on simultaneously as the game between Nigeria and Ghana is currently going on. Egypt and Senegal. Of course, after the AFCON, the Egyptians will want their pound of flesh. At this point, 1-0 in favor of the Egyptians. Do you think Senegal could stage a fight back in this game?
I doubt. The moment I saw that fixtures, and I just knew the Egyptians will not allow any team come to Cairo and go back on skate. So I think what the Senegalese team is trying do at this moment will be to just damage control. If they go into the second leg and one goal deficit, it would have been an excellent result. That means they have all to play for when Egypt comes to Dakar. I'm sure the Egyptians will want to go all out to make this victory a bit more assured. Because if you go into the second leg with just 1-0, I tell you that 1-0 can't be wiped out, especially in the first half. So this is where home advantage comes in. I mean, two of the top rated teams are on the continent. So we know that Senegal is the number one ranked team on the continent. Egyptians take no prisoners. This time-tested team, and they have a certain Mohamed Salah in their ranks, and you can expect anything can really happen with that kind of player in your ranks. So it's for them playing home, using their home advantage. If it stays at 1-0, I can tell you that the second leg is going to be a real slugfest between both teams.
I know. We will continue to monitor the game between Ghana and Nigeria. But I mean, let's just get into Europe or talk about what happened last night. Stunning results. Tougher, I know you want to quickly jump on that one. What in the world happens to it? So, look, each time we try to act like we know football, I just laugh. Not my. I mean, Italy to champions. What you just said? Look, football is crazy.
Oh, I think I'm losing you here. I couldn't hear your question. Sorry.
Yeah, I was talking about what. Can you hear me, Tofe?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah, I was talking about the upset we saw yesterday in Europe. The European champions, Italy, failing to win at home, and now they've crashed out of the World Cup. This is a team that missed out of the last World Cup, regrouped, and then came on to win the Euro 2020 championship, and now they will not be at the World Cup. I want to understand what sort of football happened last night.
To be honest, that game was just a strange game. You know, the Italian national team will be really reeling here because they would expect to be at the World Cup. I think I'm not really going to talk much about the game. I think we really need to look at the setup of these games and setup of what teams can go to the World Cup. I think we need to see the best teams at the World Cup, and now with we need to have more teams at the World Cup as well, because with the draws that are going, there's no smaller teams. But I think the Italian national team is going to be very, very disappointed that they've not made the World Cup at this time around.
Crazy. Alfred, I was just wondering and saying to myself, what else have we not seen in football, you know, particularly when you see some of these stunning results. I couldn't explain it, you know, when people were asking me, I was like, what really happened, Alfred?
Honestly, for the life of me, there was no way, there's no way one can put words to what happened yesterday. I was watching the game with my kids, and we were like, Italians, the way they are missing the opportunities of scoring in this game, and the way the North Macedonia team was defending, something might just give at the end. And to shock and horror, watching that, I thought the Italians were going to get it. But you know, football, sometimes, like you say, football happens, and it happened to the Italians yesterday. For the life of me, the odds were that they were going to go through. Not Macedonia, but hey, these guys came, they rolled their sleeves, they put the work in, they played football. The defending was top notch, and it just happened. Congratulations to them, but very, very unfortunate. European champions will not be able to go.
Wow. Let's just quickly run through the South America results, because World Cup qualifier is going on everywhere. And we've just opened a thread on our Twitter, our handle saying
All right, so just like Austin said earlier, you have your South American results, FIFA World Cup playoff, a lot of action all over. That's the result on your screen. Brazil hammered Chile 4-0. Colombia defeated Bolivia 3-0. Paraguay defeated Ecuador 3-1. And of course, Uruguay defeated Peru 1-0. The toughest qualifying process across all confederations happened to be the South American zone, where everybody plays everybody. You don't avoid anybody. It's really, really tough. And it doesn't come as a surprise the way these teams perform whenever they get to the World Cup. So we'll see what happens with that one. Some teams have already qualified, so we'll see. What will happen with the ones that are yet to secure passage to the next round. All right, so we'll go back to the football as it is played on the field. Two matches currently going on simultaneously. Of course, the one a lot of Nigerians currently watching is the one between the Black Stars of Ghana and Nigeria, and the other one, of course, between the Teranga Lions of Senegal and the Pharaohs of Egypt. And it is live, it is on your screen. Egypt leading because of an own goal scored by one of the Senegalese players. And Ghana and Nigeria, it is still goalless. All right, so Austin, we're just hoping that things will change. We're hoping that Cerezo will probably be able to turn things around, because I feel it is possible for us to get a result. And for those saying a draw is not a bad result, a draw is like walking on thin ice. It could break. Just like biscuits, it could crack, and you might get the smaller half. You get the smaller part, So it's good if we don't lose, but it's better if we win.
Yeah, I've always said it that this sort of game, there's no way the second leg won't determine a lot of things. Even if Ghana should lose this match 2-0, you cannot write them off, because they're going to come all out in the second leg. So yeah, I agree with you that a 0-0 result is also still tricky, but I think the Super Eagles will keep that. They will take that they didn't lose in Kumasi. There was another scary moment, a long ball that was sent in, and then the Ghanaians were calling for a penalty. I think Trustekong dealt with that so well. So they're piling the pressure. They're trying to continue where they stopped in the first half. As Toffa said, this is the time for the technical crew to jump up, read the game, and see ways that they can make substitutions that will turn things around for the Super Eagles in this encounter. But it is what it is. It's a very difficult one. It's a tough one. It's Nigeria, Ghana, and it's still goalless.
Yeah, that's what it is. All right, so we'll see. Second half has begun, like a few minutes played in the second half. We're hoping that things will change. Let me go to the guys still with us. Alfred Okoligbe, still in there. What is the best possible scenario to leave Kumasi with for the Super Eagles? In your opinion, best possible. Of course, three possible outcomes: a win, a loss, and a draw. But for you, what's the best scenario?
Obviously, a win. A win would have calmed our nerves. A win would have made it. We know that if it's a trophy, we have one hand on the trophy. If it's going for Qatar, the passport, they've opened the passport. I think the stamp, just a question of just stamping it around. I mean, it will be, but where it's going, still tepid, highly tactical in both sides, watching each other, both sides. So I had a bit of decisions when the Ghanaians were waving for a penalty for somebody that nodded the ball into touch, and the next thing the referee was like, "Wait, hey, not here, not what happened in. Let not what happened at the AFCON repeat itself here." So, like I said, what the best possible result will be a win for us. Where it's not possible, just manage this game. You see, but if I don't like goalless draws, If it's a score draw, it gives you, I think, a better advantage than playing goalless draws. I don't like goalless draw means that it's like the first leg never happened, and at that rate, everybody will want to go for it, and it leaves you with an opponent that knows that is still in the game, even at that. But if it's a score draw, just give you the assurance that, hey, I have something on these guys, and we can play this out, or we can.
All right. Before I pass the baton back to Austin, let me ask Tofe. I mean, we see what the Ghanaians are doing, but do you think they can keep this up for 90 minutes, bossing the Eagles, muscling them? I mean, that's really the idea, what they're trying to do. Do you think they can keep it up for 90 minutes?
Absolutely, I think they can. I think if they want to, it's up to the Super Eagles to come out of their shackles and come out of the Ghanaian shadows. Physically, the Ghanaians are, they're having the game. It's up to Super Eagles to not let them boss them. I think it's more important for the coaching crew to try to find a solution, as I said earlier. I think, sometimes it's not just about the substitution that they can make, but it's also about a tactical, approach or like a technical decision, of switching flanks of the wingers or trying to get the midfield closer to the attack. Because right now, Victor Osimhen is just up there alone. Kelechi Iheanacho and the rest of the midfield, they are not, they're not in balance, trying to get up there with Osimhen as well. I think it's good for us because we're defending deep and we're trying to get on the counter attack. If we keep playing like this, we need to have someone that can come in, or we need to have a tactic to have some kind of counter attack football. So there's a lot of permutations we need to look at. But I think we just need to take our time, and as time goes on, we need to try to win the game. I think that's the best case scenario.
All right,
if we win the game.
Yeah. Sorry to cut you short.
Win the game is better for us. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, all right. Sorry, we need to go on a break right about now. It's getting interesting. Tofe giving us his views there. Let's go for a break and come back to wrap things up on the show. All right, welcome back. We're on the home stretch. Obviously, the game will still be on while we leave the studio, so we can only wish the Super Eagles all the best. So we're going to get a parting shots from our friends, our partners on the show tonight. But let me just quickly pass the baton to Austin. Some anxious moments, but we're still in it.
Yeah, I think the Super Eagles are not trying to, take back the game, but it's difficult because the Ghanaians are giving everything. They are pushing, they are kicking, they're being physical, and that's just to, bring down the confidence of the Super Eagles. A long ball played into Aribo. I keep saying it. They just need to calm down and then find a way to read the game and take control of it. Before we let them go, let me just get your final thoughts, Alfred. What do you think the Super Eagles can do? You want it to stay 0-0? If you want them to win, what can be done?
Moses Simon, I mean, if you follow the game, Moses Simon just lost a glorious chance to put us ahead. I mean, it is what it is. In a game like this, I think that, for me, has been the best chance of this match. If you have that kind of chance and you don't bury them, it might just cost you at the end of the day. Once the chance presents itself, take it, and everybody is come and continue the business. A big miss. That's saved by the goalkeeper, a big miss. But we'll go hopefully, like I said, the second half, we get the break that we want. And of course, kill off this game.
Tougher, Moses Simon with that chance. I tried not to scream, but he probably should have done better.
Yeah, I mean, all credit to the keeper. The keeper was able to stop that as well. But, this is what we talked about earlier as well. We're going to have one or two chances, and we need to take them. At this level, you need to score that. But the keeper, all credit to him, was able to stop that there. I think we're definitely going to have more chances in the game, and we have to really bury our chances.
As well. I must say thank you so much, Tofe, for your time. I'll let you watch the match now. We'll see how we can bring you back next week while we'll take a look at the second leg. Alfred Okoligwe, thank you so much. Also, you need to rest that neck now because that neck has been busy, turning left. Thank you so much, guys, for being on the show.
Okay, cool.
Thank you very much, Justin. Thank you, Yomi.
All right.
All right. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, Tofe. Thank you.
Okay. Hopefully, Nigeria win.
Yeah, hopefully.
That's it.
Hopefully.
Yeah,
that's the hope. We're about to go. Of course, it's a job that we have chosen. A lot of us would have loved to be watching that game, but we have to keep you informed, entertained as much as we can. We're about to go. Our best wishes to the Super Eagles as they try to get a result right there in Kumasi. Not an easy place to play a game of football, but hopefully, at the end of the game, hopefully, we'll get a result and win that game. That's the show today. We hope that you've enjoyed everything we've been able to do. We're back again next week, hopefully to report a victory for the Super Eagles. I'm Yemi Adebayo. Bye-bye now.
It was a difficult one, but didn't we try? Didn't we try to report it? You talk about this sort of match between Ghana and Nigeria. We're back again next week in London. I'm Austin. Okonak, and in everything you do, remember, keep talking sports. Bye for now.